Lovely day to be doing this, huh?
Oh yeah. Come on down, stay dry.
Yeah, cool.
All I'm doing right now is sucking the oil out of the engine because that takes the longest. I emptied the water tank. Okay. So he's going to put some antifreeze in the tank, and then we're going to winterize the fresh water system.
Okay.
And then we'll do the head.
Okay.
And the bilge pump, and then the only thing left to be do is the engine.
Okay. Well, you said you're doing the oil right now?
Yeah, I'm changing the oil.
Okay.
I'm sucking the oil out of it right now.
Cool. Where is that outtake?
I pulled the dipstick out.
Oh, okay.
You just take it out of the dipstick.
Oh, like literally like where the dipstick goes in, you just...
Yeah, you take the dipstick out and you stick this hose down in it and you suck it out there. Now, a couple of questions. Did you work on this motor? Who worked on this motor?
No, the previous owner. So I just bought this boat in August, and the owner before me took great care of it. And he completely worked on it. He gave me like lists of things to work on with it, but it's all him.
Well, the things I did notice is this clamp right here. I don't understand what the point of the clamp is on the raw water pump.
Yeah, well, apparently that's fairly common on these old Atomic 4s, and I guess to manage, the throughput on that.
The flow?
Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen that on the manage the flow there.
Yeah. And you said that's the freshwater?
No, that's saltwater.
That is saltwater.
This is totally a saltwater engine.
And isn't this part of the
that manages the flow.
Yeah. So then, yeah, that is weird that it has that.
I don't know why that's there, but there must be a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen one there.
Yeah, he did say I would never really have to mess with it.
Okay.
I'd only ever have to loosen it if I really wanted to like increase the flow or something. So,
right. Now I don't know what that's got to do with the exhaust the way it is going out the front of the motor. I've never seen that before with a clamp there. But the things you're going to want to do is change the spark plugs this winter.
Okay.
Because they are pretty corroded.
And those are
right here. See these right here? Those are the spark plugs, just like in a car.
Okay.
And there are 4 of them.
Okay.
And it looks like somebody tuned it up recently, which is good. Did he happen to say whether he had electronic ignition in it, or did he stick with the points?
He didn't mention that, no.
Okay. Well, Indigo makes an electronic ignition that goes on here and gets rid of the points and condenser. It makes it much more reliable.
Yeah, I definitely have had quite a hard time getting this started.
Yeah, so you want to think about putting the Indigo electronic points in it.
Okay.
It's a real simple thing. The whole platform goes inside the distributor there.
Okay.
And then all you have to do is set the dwell and the spring when you run it, and you're good to go.
Okay.
And put an oil pressure switch in to control it.
What was the first thing you said again?
Well, I changed the spark plugs. I put, to upgrade it, I would get rid of this pump with the grease cup on it and put in one without a grease cup. That's self-lubricating. So that way you don't have to turn that cup to force grease into the shaft every time. That's kind of old school. And then over on the other side of the motor here, Moyer Marine, I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yep.
Don makes a kit that replaces that manual fuel pump there, and if we put an electric one in its place, and you plumb it in, and it's totally electric, and it runs off the coil.
Okay.
And it has an oil pressure switch for safety. It won't run unless it has oil pressure.
Okay.
So it's something to think about doing. It looks like you got a new carburetor on there, which is good. New oil pressure switch, new sender, I mean. The only unknowns with these motors, someone put a new cover plate on it, which is good. The water gallery plate on this side looks like somebody's been shopping at Moyer Marine.
Okay.
So that's good because those rot out.
Okay.
So that's real good that somebody's done that. We'll see what she feels like when we start her up.
Okay. So we can run her up on the sticks here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's how I winterize it.
Okay. Big boat, engine with a head and such. So
got a new head in it, so that's good. And it's plumbed right. I looked at it already.
Good.
Did you empty the holding tank before you came out?
Yeah.
Okay. The way I winterize the head is I'd want to replace that valve. It's not budging. Okay, so the water systems are done.
Yep.
That was fairly simple. Dom, you want to lower the hose to the ground and we'll do the toilet?
Okay.
Because they don't tell you, that one came from Costco. This is a die-hard, maintenance free. It says maintenance free. They're not date coded, so I don't know how old they are. This one's 1919. So that's good. I mean 2019, I'm sorry.
Yeah, for a moment.
I'm sorry. I was just brain fade.
Yeah, brain fart.
This die-hard, I don't know how old it is. It's got it's a 27M, 575 cranking amps. There is a little bit of a wow to the battery where the cells are. I would want to charge them up before the winter. You know, put a trickle charger on them just to top them off so that they would be good for the winter.
Okay.
Pass this to Dom. Hey, Dom. Oh.
And this is an oil that's like specific for winterization, or
Well, it's specific for this motor.
okay.
30 weight is what you use, a straight 30 weight in it.
Is this different than what was in there?
I don't know what was in there,
Okay.
but Atomic Force take 30 weight.
Okay. So with the winterization process, we take out what's in there and we
Yes.
put new in there, and that
Right.
kind of just flushes it through, or
Well, what happens is when I run it, it's going to mix and, you know, lubricate the valves and everything else, because why you change the oil on the engine every year is because you want to get the acids and the salt deposits out of the engine. And that's why you change it, because the oil picks it up.
okay.
Mainly because you want, you know, the oil has a little bit of anti-corrosive properties in it, and it loses it over time.
Yeah, okay.
And what we will do for the combustion system is when we run it to winterize it, I'll spray fogging oil into the updraft carburetor, which will lubricate the rings and everything else.
Okay.
And then we'll manually drain the block in case there's any water that stays in it.
And as far as boats in this yard, on a percentage basis, how many would you say do winterization themselves, and how many go for your professional service?
I don't know, I do about 60 boats in the winter.
Okay.
And we store 120 almost 250 boats.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people do them themselves. And a lot of them, you know, they just want engine only, and they do the head and the water system themselves, and they have us do the engine.
Okay, yeah.
You know, you can piecemeal it.
Yeah, the head system and the tanks and stuff does seem a little more simple than the engine. Yeah, aren't most boats now diesel?
Oh yeah.
And why was the switch to that?
Emissions mainly.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. In the small diesel. I mean, the small boats like this, Atomic 4 stopped being produced because it couldn't do emissions.
Hmm.
Okay.
And doesn't like gas fumes explode, but diesel fumes don't, or something?
Yeah, the flash point on gas is much lower.
Okay. Yeah.
Diesel is much safer, but it burns hotter when it does catch fire. Burns a whole lot hotter. All right, Dom, let's do the toilet and make sure I got it set right.
What will you be doing as he's up there?
I'm setting it here on flush. He's gonna stick the tube in the hull, and when he knocks on the hull, we're gonna flush it and bring the antifreeze in.
Okay.
And then when he comes inside, we're gonna do it reverse.
Okay.
Now, there are a couple ways you can winterize this engine. Do it from the bottom, you know, without taking this hose off, which probably wouldn't be a bad idea. So I don't want, that hose looks pretty screwed in there. Except I gotta take it off because I can't do both, winterize and fog it at the same time.
What was the other way to winterize it?
The other way is to winterize it by going through the strainer, which is this right here. But this is the easiest way to winterize, is to pull this hose off and just pour antifreeze into it while it's running.
Would you say that newer engines are generally easier to work on?
Yes.
Okay. But I mean, the Atomic 4, it's like a very simple engine, right?
Yeah, it's very simple.
What makes newer ones easier to work on?
The diesels?
Yeah.
Because they're so much more reliable. It's closed fuel system. There's none of the, none of the updraft carburetor issues. What we're going to do is connect a hose to this to feed the engine. Hey Dom, in the bucket on the trailer,
Okay.
there should be a 1/2-inch coupler, double 1/2-inch. You know, one end goes into that hose and we clamp it on, and then the other one goes on this end. Could you grab that? And I'll get the updraft carburetor ready to fog.
Looks like it's dripping.
It's just dripping a little from up here. What I'm doing now is taking the flame arrestor off so that I can fog it.
And what does it mean to fog it?
Well, it's fogging oil. Oh, it's not coming free. Wow. Fogging oil goes into the flame arrestor here and it gets sucked into the engine and it lubricates the valves, the piston rings for the winter.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do this through the... I don't think I can get that screw up. Try it again. Can you give me a paper towel over there? Oh, it ain't budging.
Damn.
Shouldn't be that tight. Let's get one more try here, and then if not, I'll have to get a straw and do it through this flame arrestor.
The previous owner also gave me like a canvas winter cover. I'm probably gonna try to set that up within the next month or so.
Okay.
I think, yeah, I mean between the boats there should be enough room, but yeah, I'll just play that by ear, I guess.
Does it come all the way down, or is it a tent?
It's a tent.
Oh,
So
it's-
Is it a boom tent?
yeah, I think that's
You should be able to get a ladder around the boat.
okay. Cool.
This kind of pushed in there. So it doesn't leak. Now you can winterize this by putting a funnel in that hose and pouring antifreeze into it
Okay.
if you want. I don't do it. I do it this way because it just force feeds it a little bit. All right, Tom, I'm gonna put the battery switch on.
All right, you got a key?
You got a key?
You got
Oh,
a
to
key?
start that. Yeah. I think it should be that one there.
Does the shaft turn when it's in neutral?
Not certain of that.
Okay. All right, Dom, give us some choke and see if she fires.
Yeah.
And then look out over the side, make sure it's pumping water.
All right, you ready?
Ready? Hold it. You give it choke?
There's no choke. Is this the stop or the choke?
That's the
There's
choke.
There's no
All right.
stop on this. Pull it. Okay, try it now. Hold it. I didn't invert my gas. Give it a little throttle. Try that.
Is that good?
All right, try that.
Ready?
Ready. Oh, we're not even getting a fire. Is the key on?
Want me to play with it a little bit, just because it's so unique, the play in there. Yeah. Oh shit! Did it die?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna push the choke back in.
Give it a second.
Okay.
Push it in.
Okay. Choke's pushed in.
Pumping water. Other side.
Port side's pumping something.
What?
Port side is pumping something.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks like it must be water. Yeah, it looks like it's that antifreeze coming out the port side.
Yeah, I want to let it run for a minute so it gets it into the block.
Okay. You want me to put the blower on?
No. What?
Yep. Okay. Turning pink, yep.
All right.
I have to change the belts ever, or?
They look pretty new.
Okay.
I mean, the guy did a lot. He put a new cutlass bearing in it down below on the shaft. Looks like a new coil. Looks like he tuned it up. It's new spark plug wire.
So what would normally go through this pipe?
Salt water through that seacock right there.
Oh, okay. Oh, so yeah, so literally instead of taking in seawater, it's taking in antifreeze.
Correct, through this hose right here.
Okay.
It's going through the strainer, through the whole engine. I'm just trying to make sure that I get a good mix in the block
Okay.
right now. I mean, the manifold's already winterized because the flow, it comes up through here. When the thermostat's closed, it bypasses the block, goes through here, and out this, up to a vented loop. It comes back and then injects into the exhaust here. So what I'm trying to do is give it a few minutes for the thermostat to open a little bit so that we get some into the block.
Okay. And where is the exhaust on this engine?
Right there. It goes through, this is your exhaust manifold here. Water injects here. There's a hose, and that's your muffler down there.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then it comes out of the muffler and exits the boat.
So by having a blower, it's just kind of an extra safety?
No, the blower's taking any fumes out. It sucks the fumes, the air out. So if there are any fumes down low, it sucks out the fumes. It's good to run the blower always with the motor, but we have the engine uncovered right now. You know, we didn't do anything with the gas, so we're doing all right.
Oh, so the fumes would settle down there and the blower would take it. Oh, okay.
Gas vapors are heavier than air.
Okay.
Tom, you want to give it a little throttle? See if it prepared to shut it off.
Where's the stop on it? Turn it off?
What?
No, just back to neutral, right?
Yeah, you're fine in neutral. That's good there. White smoke? What?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, it's not in neutral. I think it's a tiny bit further back. Okay. Brad, do you want it back in neutral or?
No, just leave it right where it is.
Oh, right where it is. Okay, yeah. Cool. Fogging? It's fogging.
She's winterized.
She is winterized.
For now.
For now, what do you...
Well, I got to drain the block and stuff.
Okay.
So, but still, with stuff back up. Got a couple rags here.
You want to turn the battery off? Or?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Is your bilge pump wired into the on when it's off?
No, I think it needs battery.
Okay, so we'll leave it. We'll winterize the bilge pump. We'll turn it back on.
Mm-hmm. So, and when it started to like fog, it looked like fog coming out, or
Like
white smoke.
like a white
Like
smoke.
you're killing mosquitoes.
Okay. And why did it start to look like that?
Because what's happening is the fogging oil is is going into the cylinders, coating the walls, the rings, the spark plugs, the valves, and it basically atomizes it, but it coats everything so that it's anti-corrosive for the winter.
Okay.
Hand that to Dominic so he doesn't spill it. Don't go over the side with it, Dom. We still got to do the bilge.
Okay.
So I'll hook the hose up. Take the hose off the engine, drain it, and you'll be winterized.
You want me to fill the jug up?
Yeah, you fill the jug up. That's fine. Should be here. It's up here. Come off. It doesn't want to come off. There we go. It's moving now. It doesn't want to come off.
Oh shit! You cut yourself.
That's fine. Just a little one.
Just a flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound. I normally do it from the front, but you've got this whole valve assembly on here and it doesn't come off. So I gotta do it from the pump. Come on, baby. Come on. There it goes. I hear my rag up there. So I just wrap it around my thumb so I'm not bleeding all over the boat. Thanks. Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
Takes a minute to drain because this one. Well, we're certainly getting some rain. Oh my God, that's been on there a long time. I'll just let it statically drain slowly.
So it's draining the block. And where is the block?
This is your head, which is connected to the block. This is the block here. Okay. This mainly, your cylinders are right here, and there's water all around them. Okay? Except this section here is where your valve train is. And your water is basically around the cylinders. And this cover plate here is the bottom of the water gallery. Okay. That plate right here. The stainless plate that somebody that they got from Moyer that they put in here. And if you look carefully, you can see there's a T right here. See the T? Let me see. See the T in it right there?
Yeah, kind of.
It's kind of hard to see. In any event, that T injects water into the block.
Okay.
Okay? And it travels up here to the thermostat. And when the thermostat's closed, the water passes the block and goes out here. When the engine warms up, the thermostat opens. The water takes the least path of resistance, goes into the block, and then comes out the thermostat and exits here.
Okay.
Okay? Let's see if I can get it to drain a little faster. I want it to drain into the bilge. So we're going to winterize the bilge. And it's all pink, so I'm just being safe by doing this.
A big part of winterization, it seems, is just to put antifreeze everywhere.
Yes, is to displace the water so it doesn't freeze and break, whatever it is that it's in. That's going into the bilge right now. So we'll winterize the bilge pump next after I put all this back together.
Okay. Is that our breath? That must be our breath. What is that?
No, that's steam.
Oh, why is there steam?
Heat from the engine.
Oh, of course.
Because the pistons get hot, the piston walls get hot on the inside. So, in a second. Let me just winterize this. Alright, that's winterized. It doesn't take much. what you have here, let me turn the switch off, is you have a carrier bearing here, which is this right here. This is a carrier bearing, and you've got to add grease to this grease cup and twist it every once in a while, because the shaft rides on that, and there's looks like there's plenty of grease in it right now, but you probably want to unscrew that cap and fill it with marine grease.
So I just literally unscrew this cap.
Yeah. Screw it like this. As long as I don't drop it. See, there's grease in there.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's using regular packing grease, but I would use a marine bearing grease.
Okay.
You know, in the spring, just come find me and I'll give you a tube and you can fill it.
Okay.
And then every once in a while, depending if you're making a long run with the boat, you want to give this a half a turn in.
Okay.
This is your stuffing box here. There's your hose for your stuffing box, and it's connected to the fiberglass shaft. This is what keeps the water out of your boat. There's packing inside that. Okay, it's basically wax rope. And what it does is when the shaft turns, it takes a little bit of the wax away and allows it to drip about every 3 to 5 seconds when the shaft is turning. And after about 40 minutes after you stop running, it should swell back up and stop dripping.
Okay.
So you want to keep an eye on that. If it starts dripping regularly with the shaft off after about a half hour, so it's time to tighten or repack it.
And the dripping would happen in here?
It would happen right here.
Okay.
Right here, as it comes out here.
Okay.
Okay. Did the water system, did the bilge pump, did the engine. That's it.
Beauty. Cool. Very cool.
Battery switch is off, fuel is off, you're all set.
Yeah, we shut all those valves again. And...
Yeah, I closed all those valves.
Okay. And then what about in here? Did we just left that to off in there, this gas thing, the whole time?
This bronze tube with the rubber inside of it, and it's got slots in it. And what happens when the shaft spins, the water, the shaft rides on a cushion of water, okay? And that's your bearing. And what happens is the rubber wears out on those. Okay. So what you wanted, somebody's replaced this recently, like in the last year or two. So you're good for a good 5 years. Okay. On that, depending upon how much you use the boat.
Okay, and is this that's
a zinc.
Yeah, and that pulls away, right? The
that's the sacrificial metal.
Okay, yeah.
So you want to change that in the spring.
Okay. And you said cutlass bearing.
Cutlass bearing.
Okay.